a disease that very few people can even pronounce, much less even know about, I can actually grab the spotlight and help this little orphan cancer get the attention and the funds that it needs to actually extend my life. So this is not altruistic. I was actually out there fighting for my life, you know? And thank you so much. And you know, I didn't have to do a lot of thought about it. I made this decision. Again, it all became very clear to me. And that's what happened 7 years ago, is when I actually sort of made the public announcement, 40 pounds overweight, and the most unself-conscious that I've ever been in front of people, because I was just cuddly and cute and fat and kiss me now because I have a message. So ever since I did that, something really fascinating happened. First of all, I also started writing about my journey, chronicling it in a blog called The Yellow Diaries. I'd never written a blog before in my life. I don't even know what drove me to it. I think it was the steroids. I was crazy in the middle of the night. But the most extraordinary thing happened. I was not judged. I was not condemned. I was not shamed. But there was this incredible outpouring, like a tidal wave of support from people all over the world, and in particular from India and from the Indian community in both Canada and the US. And what was extraordinary was the thank yous, but not just the thank yous, the stories, the angels, the guardians that just emerged out of this very anonymous digital world that we seem to occupy, to share their stories, to say, you know what, you're gonna get through it. Here's where I was 5 years ago or 5 months ago, and don't worry about, and here's a suggestion, and maybe, you know, you should cut your hair before it falls out because. And it was just everything that I need. It was these incredible voices, this incredible community, the strength of community that bolstered me, that carried me through those 4 months of fairly harrowing treatment, and not just that, but a stem cell transplant, which, believe me, is not a picnic, at the end of that. And I will never, ever forget that. And whenever I came across someone and I wanted to thank them, they said, no, don't thank me, just pay it forward. And of course, there are many ways that I can think of that I can pay it forward, but ultimately, perhaps, you know, we all have to look at what are our individual strengths. And for me, it's just standing in front of everyone and sharing my story. Because I'll tell you that I know what it's like. I know what it can be like when there are people telling you not to come forward and speak, when there are people denying your emotions, when there are people telling you to suppress everything that's important, everything that you feel is important, that you know is important to share, that will serve not just you, but others as well. Don't listen to the voices outside of you. Listen to the voices inside you. And let's face it, we do know that there are a lot of issues culturally in India, in our community. I'm a very, very proud Indian. I'm based in Bombay today. But you know, there are aspects of our society, and it's not necessary to go into the details of how it came to be, but we do know that certain things like a disease, a serious disease, are often considered taboo topics. Don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. Not while you're going through it, not even after you've gone through it, not even after somebody has passed out of their body. And to me, to be completely honest, I find that bewildering. And I think it's really important to question, but beyond questioning, it's not condemnation. It's always about reframing an experience. And you know, any sort of positive sharing will always transcend any kind of obstacles that we might find in our way. Ultimately, as I said, at our deepest core, we are all human beings. We are all deeply connected. We may be coming in all different shapes and sizes, different experiences, different social statuses. We earn different amounts of money. But at our core, we are exactly the same. We want the same things. We have all suffered. We have all triumphed. And if we sit in a circle and share, deeply share, we'll all just laugh to see how similar we are and how much time we've wasted in trying to divide ourselves and not just spoken to each other simply as human beings. One of the main reasons also why I believe I'm here and why I'm living with what is considered an incurable cancer and also living on very heavy medication, which is supposed to have a long list, 25 different side effects, of which I have 0. One of the main reasons I am standing here, I believe, is because of the emotional component of healing, of sharing. I believe that it's other people's support of me, but also the work that I've had to do. I mean, it's hard work getting well from a disease. And unfortunately, nobody else can do it for you. Not even the people that are closest to you. Not even the people that care about you the most. So, I also wanted to really, really exhort you all today that it's really important to band together. I know that Naveen and I were talking about this incredible initiative, this link now with the Cancer Support Society, and there is this incredible documentation that you can sign. You can be a part, you can play a role in easing the suffering of someone else. It's just a little bit of information, it's a little bit of your time, it's a little bit of energy and effort. But you know, if everybody does it, we can affect real change. Real change. As an example, as I said, if I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma 10 years before I would have been given 1 to 2 years to live. That's it. Not very optimistic. Of course, I'm a little bit of a rebel, so I don't buy data. But still, in a very real, statistical way, 1 to 2 years. Because there simply wasn't enough research, there weren't enough modalities and treatments and things like that. Today, the median life expectancy with multiple myeloma is 12 years after being diagnosed. And screw that, I'm gonna live to be 102. And we all have it within us. It does take a little bit of stubbornness. It takes a little bit of rebelling, perhaps, or let's say questioning all of the sort of societal norms that we're taught. You know, there are good and bad things to all conventions and traditions. And the wonderful thing, actually, about being here in America, in the US, is we have the opportunity to pick and choose, to reinvent ourselves, to be the best version of ourselves. And that includes taking pride in our traditions, in our background, in our culture, but also questioning the parts of it that don't serve us. And that's healthy. That's progressive. That's what's going to make us stronger and better as a community and as cancer survivors as well. So again, thank you so much for having me here. I really want to encourage everyone to share their stories. That's like absolutely vital. I just want to do something, just throw it open in case anyone has any sort of questions at all. I also wanted to add that I'm working on a book, a memoir. This isn't, hi, I'm selling this because it's an albatross around my neck. I haven't finished it. It's going on for 3 years, but I have written a blog about my experiences, and I think it's absolutely vital to be really, really transparent in our suffering, because that's where you find the strength. You know, vulnerability is actually one of the most courageous sort of places that you can operate from. So I just wanted to say, in case anyone has any sort of questions, go ahead before I call Vip back. Yes? Well, that's an excellent question. So this lovely woman was asking, what is the one line that I think I should share, that one should share in, you know, in my opinion, when someone is going through cancer. And it's also the line I dread the most. It's really, really difficult. You know, I mean, we live now in a world of hashtags and, you know, hashtag fight cancer. You know, I mean, I think the thing is sometimes what I can say that I needed the most was simply presence. It was simply someone to be there with me. And sometimes it wasn't about saying anything. Sometimes it might be a friend just sitting next to me, holding my hand, reading alongside. And I think that the best advice that I can give sincerely is to take your cues from the patient, but to let them know that you're there. Let them go through what I mean, it's going to be different from everyone. I'm sure there's as many responses as there are people as there are cancer patients, you know? I mean, I think it becomes very difficult when you join the cancer club because suddenly you're branded. Oh my God, now I'm a part of this club I didn't even apply for. So I think that sometimes some people want to be recognized as more than just a cancer patient.